Excuse me, we'll be starting up shortly. I'd like to welcome everyone to the May 18th, 2026 City of Lowell Planning Board meeting. Just a quick announcement, members of the public may view the meeting via ltc.org or local cable channel 6. With that, the first order of business on the agenda is the acceptance of the minutes of May 4th. Everybody have a chance to review the minutes? Yep. Any comments, revisions? Nope. If not, entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for May 4th, 2026 meeting.
Do I have a second? I second that. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Chair votes yes. Thank you. First item on the agenda is second item on the agenda is a item that was continued. This is for a site plan review and special permit at 297 University Ave. Cassandra Enterprise, Inc. has applied to the Lowell Planning Board and the Lowell Zoning Board of Appeals for site plan review, special permit, and variance approval to convert an existing 8-bay garage into 4 townhouse residential units. The property is located in the traditional 2-family TTF zoning district. The application requires site plan review, approval under section 11.4.2.2 to construct a development with more than 3 dwelling units, and a special permit pursuant to section 4.5.21 and section 11.3.1 for the change of non-conforming use. The project also requires variance approval under section 5.1 for relief from the maximum number of stories, minimum usable open space per dwelling unit, and for any other relief required under the Lowell zoning ordinance. May I hear from the applicant, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening to all. For the record, my name is John Geary of Geary & Geary LLP, 32 Church Street, Lowell, Mass. I'm here tonight representing the applicant and owner of 297 University Ave, Cassandra Enterprise, Inc. With us tonight, we have Dave Gray from Cassandra, and we have Matt Hammer from Landplex. As the Vice Chair mentioned here, we are requesting a special permit this evening pursuant to 4.5.2 of the City Zoning Ordinance related to the redevelopment of 297 University Ave from its current use as that of 8 commercial garage bays to 4 residential townhouse-style units. The property consists of 11,778 square feet of land. It's located within the traditional 2-family zoning district. The project review comments indicate that the lot size is 9,690 square feet, but there are 2 lots here. There's 297 University Ave, which consists of 9,690 square feet, and there's 297.1 University Ave, which consists of 2,090 square feet of land. So together, that's about 11,700 square feet. As we indicated, the redevelopment of the proposal is to change the use from the 8 commercial bays to that of 4 residential units. We can do that pursuant to 4.5.2 if the change of one conforming use to another is less detrimental to the neighborhood. We believe that we meet that criteria. We are replacing 8 commercial garage bays that are used for rental, storage, other commercial purposes, which do not align with the character of the neighborhood, to 4 residential units which do align with the character of the neighborhood. The addition of 4 residential units also align with the Lowell Forward Plan. They will provide opportunities for home ownership at reasonable prices, and the project is less impactful to the neighborhood from a traffic perspective as well. We have received and reviewed the staff comments. The comments are supportive of the proposal. Comment 4D, for example, indicates that the proposed conversion of the property from a commercial use to a residential use is more in character with the neighborhood. The economic development team also supports the conversion and points out that the addition of the 4 units helps align with the City of Lowell Forward Plan by increasing the housing opportunities within the city. We've reviewed the engineering comments. We've been in discussions with the engineering department. We have no concern being able to meet any of their concerns. The transportation engineer for the city seems to, has weighed in on the project and seems to prefer the proposed use to the existing use because we are eliminating vehicles backing out onto University Avenue, and we are also replacing a very wide non-conforming curb cut to a compliant curb cut. In terms of other permitting, we were before the ZBA on May 11th for variances for a maximum number of stories, lot area per dwelling unit, and usable open space per dwelling unit. The redevelopment proposal was well received by the ZBA members, and we received unanimous approval of the requested relief that evening with two conditions. One of the conditions is that we obtain plan approval from the engineering department. Again, we have no concern being able to do that. And the second condition was that we obtain approval from DPT relative to screening along the northerly borderline, the back lot line. At that ZBA meeting, we heard from 2 or 3 neighbors who are here tonight. I'll let the neighbors speak for themselves, but based on what I heard, the concern seemed to be screening and safety. So to that end, we are proposing erecting a 6-foot-high white vinyl fence along the entire northerly borderline, the back property line. There's also an existing chain link fence along the westerly property line, which is in very good condition. So we're proposing to maintain that fence, keep it in place. There's no reason to replace it. It's in very good condition. So we'll see what comes of this meeting tonight. We'll revise the site plan, and if approved, we'll submit our screening proposals to the DPD for approval consistent with any decisions. So with that, I'll turn the presentation over to Matt so he can review the plans.
Good evening. I have a cold tonight, so excuse my voice. So existing is an 11,778 square foot lot with an existing 8 garage bay storage facility, which is located here with a continuous curb cut. The proposal is to put an entrance drive here, to come around to the rear of the 4 units. Each unit will have a parking space within each unit and outside of each unit. And there's ample room for each unit to back out onto University Avenue. There'll be a walkway servicing each unit. Additionally, the site will also have subsurface drainage to handle all the impervious square footage on the property, and those calculations are provided on the plan as well. This is a view as you're on University Avenue of the front of the 4 units. This is a perspective view looking at the units here. This is a view of the units in the rear with the garage bay underneath. These are 4 elevations: the front, the rear, the right side, and the left side. And these are the floor plans. Garage, there's a storage area down below. Entrance, foyers in the rear. And then this is the first floor with living, kitchen area, and the dining room. and then bedrooms on the second floor. And I can turn it back to Attorney Gary.
Thank you, Matt. So, Mr. Vice Chair, we believe that the proposal is a well-thought-out redevelopment of the property. The use is certainly less detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing use. We're providing additional housing units within the city. The property will align more with the character of the neighborhood, and we are eliminating backing out of vehicles onto University Ave and that very large curb cut. In addition to all that, we're working with a developer that has a track record in the city going back decades. He's a very well-respected developer, gets very well respected by the departments in the city, particularly the building department, and that's because of the quality of work that he does. Certainly not a criteria for the special permit, but something worth considering. So with that, Mr. Vice Chair, that's all we have. We'll throw it back to you, and happy to answer any questions or address any concerns.
Great, thank you, Counselor. With that, if you do not have anyone else making a presentation on behalf of the applicant, I will open up to the public.
Yeah, nobody else.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone here speaking in favor of the application? In favor? In favor? Thank you. Is there anyone here speaking in opposition of the application? In opposition? In opposition? If none, that portion is closed as well. I will turn it over to the board. Board have any comments, questions?
Chairman,
Yeah, we'll
Vice
start.
Chair, mind if I start? Thank you for the presentation. I particularly take note of the improvement in vehicle circulation. I think I agree with the traffic engineers that this is a much improvement to the continuous curb cut that is around the length of the property. I think you address many of the staff comments. Just want to verify also the particularly the comment about the sidewalk. Now I see there are some details on the sidewalk. So can you describe a little bit of what was agreed with the DPD?
So essentially, there's a sidewalk, but there's no defined curb cut.
Mm-hmm.
So a curb cut will now be defined here, as well as of the replacement of the curbing that currently is not there now because it's a full curb cut.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep.
And I see there will be a granite curb, correct?
Correct.
Okay, well, thank you. Another thing I don't see on the site plan is where will you put the snow?
Snow storage is along the side here,
Okay,
and along the rear, along the side here, and in this side here. I should have also noted that there's some landscaping shown here, which are 3 shade trees as well.
okay,
And there'll also be general landscaping around the site
I see.
in terms of shrubs and in those type of items.
For the trees, now I noticed when I'm visiting, there are some big trees in the back. So can you talk about where they are and also arrangement for the new plantings?
The new plantings are located here, 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 and in this back corner.
Okay,
There's a wall back here now and a full garage workshop here.
yep,
And then along this right edge is a full building here
I see.
shown. And then on this side, there's a building shown here with a full fencing.
But the big trees will be gone, right? It's,
Correct. Any
replaced
tree
by-
on the site will be removed.
Okay. How are we doing on the stormwater side?
Stormwater, we're putting in a full infiltration system.
Okay.
Yep,
And is the roof drainage going to tie into?
correct, yep.
And how about pavement? Is this regular
Bituminous pavement. yes.
pavement, and then would they drain toward just to the side, or?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And are you good with the stormwater department?
Yes.
Okay. I also want to, well, since the neighbor did not speak, what's the discussion regarding the vinyl fence? I know you said that there is a wall right now,
I'll leave that up to Attorney Geary.
Sure. So, Mr. Paquette was concerned that, that his initial concern was that somebody might drive into his wall and damage his workshop. I don't think that's much of a realistic possibility, but, in terms of privacy, we thought that a 6-foot-high white vinyl fence would not only look attractive, but it would protect against anybody, accessing his garage or workshop.
I see. So is the fence going to set back slightly into the lot?
Is it going to what?
Set back slightly into the...
Yeah, it will set back. So one of Mr. Paquette's concerns or questions was, can we set it back a little bit so he can get access back there, and
Okay.
and we can accommodate that.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. And did the neighbor on the western side talk a little, anything about the chain link fence and...
The neighbor was concerned about safety based on my previous conversations, and as I said, that chain link fence is in good condition. There's no reason to replace it. It's solid. It provides
Okay.
a barrier.
Understand.
And in terms of what I didn't mention, in terms of trash and recycling, there'll be by bin that pulled out to the front of the property. picked up
Okay,
by
yeah,
sea.
and then I noticed there's a door in the first level, so they can just
Right.
put it out on either side, right?
Drive-in garage.
I see. Could you say a little bit about lighting?
Lighting, there'll just be a service light for each one of the front entranceways.
Okay.
And then on the rear, there'll be a downward-facing, motion-sensitive light.
Okay, and
the
there
garage.
won't be any light on the side of
No,
the driveway or anything, right? Okay. Thank you, and I think just on a note, Jerry Paul, I'm gonna say it, I appreciate there's windows on the side of the building, on the end side of the building, so I'll pass it on to other members, thank you.
Thank you,
you.
thank you, Ken. Attorney Tenzel?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I trying to turn over a new leaf, what I like and what I don't like. What I like is and I'll let the Vice Chair speak to more of it probably. I like the look of this. This isn't like one giant billboard. It's broken up architecturally. I think it will fit in well with the neighborhood. So I really liked it. I also want to thank Mr. Hammer and Attorney Geary for a full-size map. Little pet peeve, getting maps this big is not going to work in the future. I will absolutely vote against projects where I get this because I can't see it. So I do appreciate that, getting this full-size plan. Caleb spoke to snow storage. We didn't touch upon trash removal. Attorney Geary, what's the
Yeah,
thought?
I mentioned to Member Chang that it will be by bin, trash and recycling that will be located in the garage and carried out to the front to University Ave on trash pickup.
Okay. What's the thoughts on these units? Are they going to be for sale? Are they
Yes, they're
going
going to be condominiumized and for sale.
Cool. Okay. We talked about the sidewalk. I know Mr. Hammer mentioned that there were going to be trees and shrubs, but I didn't see any on this plan. So I'm assuming that we'll get a plan that has that.
Yes, there's 4 trees shown on the plan. I'll point them out to you.
That would be great.
One is located right here.
What's described? What
It's
does it say?
Essentially, they're 2-inch diameter shade trees. We work with the Department of Planning and Development in
Yep.
terms of the variety that they may choose at the
Sure.
time of the plantings. So there's one here, there's one here.
I gotta see that. I can't see it.
I could come over.
Yeah, I don't want to. I mean,
This will be helpful, the public will be able to see it
Yeah.
if you're pointing at it.
oh, it's on here. Oh, it's not on the plan that you had given us.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So, yeah, no worries. As long as.
I apologize about that.
Yeah, look, I couldn't see it. I'm like, there's something wrong with me.
Yeah, no, there's four. What? Here, 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 and here.
Okay, all right, cool. Ms. Bergman. They also mentioned, Mr. Geary, that any disturbance in the roadway will require full-width milling and paving curb to curb.
We've had some discussions with the engineering department. We don't think that's going to be necessary, but one of the conditions of the ZBA was approval that we get plan approval from the engineering department. So we'd like to leave it at that, and we will work with the engineering department on what's necessary there.
Yeah, I do hear that, but I can tell you from my neighborhood, National Grid came up, just ripped up, and they patched everything. Great.
Yeah.
And you have patches. I do think it makes a lot of sense moving forward for projects to have that full width paving and milling, because it creates a lot less potholes, less problems down the road for the city. So I think that's important, Mr. Geary. I do hear what you're saying. I understand. Look, it's a cost.
It's a significant cost.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do think it makes sense, especially in this project, because the project's gorgeous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Walker?
I like the project. I think it's a vast improvement on what's there now. I also think that the renderings fit in well with the character of the street, but I did have a question. Have you been in touch with the LFD, Lowell Fire Department?
The fire
I noticed
department,
we were
they
getting
weighed in, or
comments.
they did not in this case.
There was no comments. I
Right,
just wondered
so
if you'd been in touch.
that is typically an indication of no concern.
Okay, so there's been no swept path
Right,
analysis.
no, and, it wouldn't necessarily be appropriate for a development of this size. They can
They can go in there.
certainly pull in and pull into the rear, and they have access to 3 sides of the building.
Okay. All of my other questions have been
Thank you.
addressed.
Thank you. Mr. Sam?
Thank you, Gary. In terms of the fence, it's the chain link fence. Is that the neighbor would like to keep that, or want you to put a better, giving the structure that you just put on in the community itself? I think it's kind of an eyeball, in terms of like.
Yeah, so we checked out the development team checked out the fence. It's in very good condition. So the thought process was, and we believe it's our fence. The thought process was to leave it intact. It's a pretty good barrier between the 2 lots.
I would, if I'm the neighbor to this, place, I would like to see something better putting up, I think it's a chain fence is kind of interfere with, you getting out of your house, you see this whole new structure, and a lot of people, you got more people living there.
Well, right, it's a 4-unit development. It's going to be a very, very attractive-looking development, as the rendering shows. So it's not unappealing for sure. But I understand what you're saying. There are 4 units there, when right now you see a low-rise garage. But again, the fence that exists is in good shape. It's a pretty solid barrier for safety purposes. So the thought was, we'll keep it.
Your neighbor? Yeah, would you like to see some changes to the? If the neighbors kind of, it's.
Yeah, and we did have discussions with the neighbor. We talked about the white vinyl fence,
Okay.
went out to the property, checked the condition of the existing fence, which again was in very good condition, and probably a better barrier, maybe not for screening purposes, but for safety purposes. So the thought, again, was to keep it in place. That was the thought process.
I would recommend it that, a better fence than the chain link fence.
I mean, we're happy to condition any approval on DPD. It's part of the zoning board decision. It relates specifically to the northerly property line, but we can encompass, the westerly boundary line as well and have that part of DPD approval.
Okay.
That satisfies
Yeah.
your
I'd like
concerns.
to make that part of the condition.
Okay.
I would agree. Good. Thank you.
Anything else? Is that-
No, that's
Thank you.
fine. yeah.
Thank you. Just if we could go to the rendering, please. And I agree, I like the articulation of the windows and the dormers, but Mr. Gray is probably going to remember this because I come back to this. This was an issue with the old Mother Hubbard project, is that on the overhangs over the doors,
Yep.
I really would like to see cornice returns on those. I don't like the look of that. I don't think that, so you've got the cornice returns up on the, yeah, exactly. I just don't like the, I don't like the overhangs on that. Mr. Gray, you'll remember the old Mother Hubbard, we had this discussion. If you could come to the microphone, please, yeah. So, on the rendering, what I would like to see is cornice returns on those the covers over the front doors. So cornice returns like you have up above, but yeah, absolutely. I just don't like, it's just a V-shape trim that's on there, and I just don't think, yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah. I think it just adds a whole other richness to that look.
How did you want it to be?
So similar to mirror similar to what you had up above.
He wants it to return such as that.
Cornice returns.
That's not a problem.
Yeah, we had that conversation, the old Mother Hubbard development. I remember that, Derek. I think you said you couldn't do it, and I said, I'll meet you on a Saturday with my toolbox, and I'll show you how we can do it. Yeah. That's when I saw the plans, I go, oh my God, we're gonna have this conversation again. All right, okay, good. I think that'll add a richness to that look along the street. In some instances, density by design goes a long way. At the end of the day, a little pet peeve of mine, I was looking at the zoning table. What I didn't see was the lot area per dwelling unit on the zoning table. And that's a big ask. That was a big ask, right? So you got your variance, but at the end of the day, for me, it's a math calculation. If you went with 3 units, then your variance would have been 220 feet, is what you didn't comply with. By going with 4, it was 20 feet you didn't, 220 feet you didn't comply with. And the lot area per dwelling unit is 4,000, so you're even going a whole other unit and beyond. So I thought that was a big ask, and it wasn't even on the table of zoning table. So that's a math equation for me, and I was like, why isn't it on there?
We got the relief from the zoning board for lot area.
Oh, I understand, but we can still make that decision.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Right. I think the plan shows that the 4 units do fit pretty well on the lot.
Understood. It's a larger piece of property than you would think when you peek behind those garages.
Right, yeah.
There's no question about it. I just, like I said, from my perspective, the point I want to make is it's still a big ask based on the current zoning. And I think that I want the cornice returns. I think other than that, it'll look good. I'm confused with the landscaping. I think, once again, with the increased density, this board should be given a landscaping plan. We can still make it up to DPD, but that has a lot to do, and we've got renderings like this that show shrubbery without trees. We've got we do have a site plan that, to Attorney Tenzar's point, you can't really, on this one, the trees are here, but you can barely see it with all the markups. And then we've got the one with the colorization that doesn't have the trees. So that's all part of what this board does,
Yeah.
right? So we don't want to, you know, we're somehow discounting what this board does, and this deferring to DPD, and it's administrative, and the ZBA approved. Well, that's why you're coming here, too. So, I would have liked to have seen a better landscaping plan and to understand it as we approve it. So none of the shrubbery, what we're looking at there is not what it's going to look like at all. Is that correct?
That is going to be what it's going to look like.
So we're going to.
So we have ornamental grasses.
Okay.
You have.
See, I don't see that in any, that I don't see in a.
So we don't have a separate landscaping plan.
That's correct.
But we're going to have shrubbery in the front, and we're going to have 4 2-inch diameter shade trees.
See, we're approving that, we have no idea. Or we're being asked to approve it, and we have no idea. Okay. And for clarification with the white vinyl fence to the neighbors, so we've got white vinyl fence aligning the rear of the property. And then, just for my orientation, where are we talking where Mr. Tar had mentioned a white vinyl fence? So if I'm looking at it from its orientation, is it to the right or to the left of
To
this?
the left, the westerly, I think
the
it's
left,
the westerly boundary line.
All right, so it abuts the property that's at the corner. That's a corner lot. Okay.
Yeah,
No, to the left. To the left.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, excuse
Okay.
me.
No. So along the driveway.
Yep, there's a fence there now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And that can get changed to a solid fence.
The only concern I would have is how far that fence would run down, not to block your view coming out onto University.
It wouldn't, the site view would be here.
Okay, yeah.
So it won't be
Make
in
sure
the
that would
line of
not.
sight.
Yeah, so that wouldn't block the view. Is that something, that's what the neighbors were looking for? Okay. And I think that would be consistent, it would add some uniformity. I think probably the people moving in here probably wouldn't mind that, tell you the truth. I really would have liked to have had a landscaping plan with this. So, Mr. Hammond, can you go over again, because if we approve this, I want to have, I mean, it'll be,
Yeah, so there's going to be 4 shade trees, 2-inch diameter shade trees. And there'll be landscaping in front of each of the units.
in the form of,
Shrubs, ornamental grasses, and perennials along the entire front. If you wanted to
Perennials,
put
you said, yeah.
a 4-foot wide landscaping area.
okay. Because that's, when we were asked, that was the whole reason for the special permit. I was around when we created the special permit for the reduced frontage, is so that it can come before the board and we can have some say as how it's going to look for the final product. That's why we're sitting here. It's not just to say, you know, okay, great. I mean, that was the whole idea of the special permit. Otherwise, it should be administrative or by right. Right, so that was the whole point of it. That's
yeah, and I completely understand. I know that it's within the board's purview. Having said that, you know, the staff is the professional staff. They know what they're doing. I think there's a landscape designer on board, so there's some benefit to that as well.
Well, it's incumbent upon, if we approve it and then somebody goes by and says, that looks terrible, why didn't they have, well, what did we approve? We don't know what we approved. So.
I understand that.
You know, I take that responsibility very seriously. So with that, what is the wish of the board?
Mr. Vice Chair, could I just add a couple more comments?
You very well may, sure.
So, Member Tenza, I was just conferring with Mr. Gray here, and in terms of the trenches, so the the trench to bring utilities to the lot is roughly 4 feet wide. They intend to mill and pave the width of the street, but not the width, from curb to curb, but not necessarily the 80 feet of the frontage. Again, the trench is just 4 feet, so they'll go curb to curb with that, but, to replace 80 feet of frontage curb to curb for a 4-foot trench seems a little disproportionate.
Yeah, I understand. My issue is having trenches, all right? Every time I see a trench, it's a pothole. Every time I see a trench, it's in ill repair. So this seems to be something that the engineering department picked up on. I didn't give it a thought until I saw it, and then when I saw it, I thought about the many roadways across Lowell that are being ripped up by National Grid. And so I'm not saying that your client would do that.
Right.
Obviously, your client is well respected. It's just an issue, I think, for maintenance going forward. So, this engineer seems to say it will require the entire frontage of the property. That's what the engineering note says. So I get what you're saying as far as a cost perspective, but from a city perspective, I think we've got to start doing a better job as far as not just allowing spot patches here and there. Those are my thoughts. Did you have something else that you
Yeah, the other
mentioned?
thing I was going to point out is, again, after conferring with Mr. Gray, we're happy to agree to the vinyl fence along the westerly boundary line as well.
Okay. Mr. Vice Chair, I like the proposal, but if you think it needs some sort of plan so we can have some say in it, certainly willing to go along with that. And I'm certainly willing to vote it tonight, either or, just so you know. All right?
Thank you. Attorney Tenza, and my thought process is that at the very least, to reflect what's being represented here, that we would at least the condition that we, as presented here and as stated, for shade trees, shrubs, ornamental grass, and perennials along the front of each unit with final approval by DPD. But that way there, if any of those elements are missing, they're not to approve it, because we approved it subject to that being in there, and it would have to come back to us. But then we have some idea of what we approved.
That's fair.
Mr. Vice Chair, so the thinking is moving forward, we would like this.
The expectation is that we would have it.
Okay, as well as a full-size plan.
That was the purpose of coming to the
Loud
planning
and
board.
clear.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a project on Livingston Street that brought all of this
I know.
to a head. So, with that, what is the wish of the board?
Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve first the special permit
Yes.
with the following conditions. We'll include the two conditions that CBA imposed. I think it's regarding to the rear lot vinyl fence and what's the other one?
The screen.
Let me think.
I have the conditions right here.
Yeah,
yeah.
it was. Typically we would get that from
Yeah, mine-
DPD. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Landscape.
Engineering service, yes. The applicant to provide final revised plans to city engineer office for approval.
No,
Thank you.
which they would have to do anyways.
Yep. And also, the applicant to work with DPD on the landscaping, on a landscaping plan, which should include 4 2-diameter trees.
Shade trees.
Shade trees, sorry, shade trees. And also, for each unit, there will be a 4-foot wide landscaping area with plantings of ornamental grasses and perennials
And shrubs.
and shrubs.
Add to that.
I want to ask Member Tenzer whether we are good with the street milling?
I think the only other thing is, it's gotta be contingent upon whatever the engineers, looking for.
Yes.
curb, all of those.
Yeah, I think they will cover it.
And they seem to be asking for, the entire frontage of the property. Which actually I'm surprised at, but.
So I suppose we can leave it to the engineering department to work with the applicant on that.
Yeah, approval from the engineering department.
Yeah, approval from the engineering department is all we're looking for.
So this sounds like is.
They require, that we go 80 feet, we'll go 80 feet, but,
Okay.
we'd like to be able to discuss with them.
I think that kind of goes along with the,
And did we add the 6
Yeah, the
foot
fence.
wide fence on the westerly boundary as well?
yes,
Okay,
we will, we haven't added, amendable to add that as a condition.
okay.
A 6-foot high, white vinyl fence on the western side of the property.
Good.
And then the coolness returns on the overhangs.
Oh, and of course, jury request for the corner returns over, first floor overhang
Yep.
above the entrances.
I'll second that.
All right, motion made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Vote of, chairman votes in favor?
Thank
Special
you.
permit is passed.
Thank you.
We have a motion now to incorporate for the site plan review.
I'll move another motion with site plan review with the same conditions.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Chair votes in favor. Site plan is approved. Thank you very much. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you. Okay, it's okay. Thanks.
Next item on the agenda is,
Mr. Chairman, before moving forward, should we recuse ourselves after, or is this going forward, and do you need us to continue the matter?
this is actually, they did request a continuance. We do have a written request to continue the matter.
Do you need Caleb and I to,
If we were hearing it, I would have you recuse yourself.
Okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't vote on the continuance.
Yep.
But we'll just, for the members that are
so three members?
correct.
Okay.
Correct, yeah. If we were hearing the matter, then I obviously would. With that, the next item on the agenda is a site plan review and special permit for 130 West Jeunesse Street. Boston Gas Company has applied to the Lowell Planning Board for site plan review and special permit approval for a proposed natural gas regulator. The property is located in the suburban single-family SSF zone. The application requires site plan review approval under section 11.4.2.3 for construction or expansion of a parking lot with more than 14 spaces or 4,000 square feet of impervious surface, and a special permit under Article 12, Section 11.3.1. And we did have a request to continue the matter. And we do have 2 board members that would not be voting on this issue, so I would be looking for a motion and a vote to continue the matter. And I believe they requested a particular date here. Let's see. Mary, do you have the date? Thought I had
It would be for June 1st.
June 1st. Okay. With that, I'll make a motion to continue the matter to the June 1st meeting. I have a second from either,
I second.
second from Mr. Saar.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye from Lucia, Mr. Tar, and myself in favor. And we have 2 abstaining on that vote.
2 abstain.
Yep.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is site plan revision for 190 and 198 Plain Street. The Lowell Planning Board will hold a public hearing to hear all interested persons relative to an application by Lowell Development LLC to revise their site plan. The property is located in the Regional Retail RR zoning district. And on December 4th, 2023, site plan review and special permit approval was granted to construct 3 separate structures containing 3 separate restaurants. On June 6th, 2025, amendments to the special permit and revised site plan were granted. Proposed revision includes replacing the middle building footprint identified as Building 2 on the previously approved site plan with a retail building consisting of 4,800 square feet of floor area. The proposal requires site plan review approval from the Planning Board for Section 11.4 commercial construction with a drive-through and for construction of a parking area with greater than 14 spaces. May I hear from the applicant, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And again, for the record, my name is John Geary, Geary & Geary LLP, 32 Church Street, Lowell, Mass. I'm here tonight representing Lowell Dev LLC. And with us tonight, we have Lawrence Van Bassett from Lowell Dev. I think he's with us remotely. And we have Chris Shea from DePretri Engineer, the engineer for the project. This application involves a request to amend the site plan that was approved pursuant to Section 11.4. The approvals that are currently in place allowed for 3 restaurants, all with drive-through facilities on the property. The property consists of a total land area of 87,828 square feet of land. It's located within the Regional Retail Zoning District. In advance of tonight's hearing, we've provided the board with the revised site plan, which includes the current conditions, landscaping, drainage, and lighting details, a traffic impact memorandum from Vanessa and Associates that's dated May 11th, 2026, an updated stormwater management report, and an engineering summary letter summarizing the revisions to the site plan. By way of background, we first came before this board in December of 2023 requesting special permits and site plan approval in order to redevelop the property into 3 restaurants, all, as I said, with drive-through facilities. We came back before the board about a year ago requesting amendments to the special permit and the site plan because the middle tenant, the middle restaurant, which was Starbucks, dropped out of the site, and the applicant chose to replace that with a retail building consisting of about 4,800 square feet of retail space, which can accommodate 2 to 3 retail storefronts. The 2 end buildings, Building 1, Building 3, remain the same. So Building 1 is Chipotle. They're committed to the site, as is Popeyes, which is Building 3. So it's the middle building where we are proposing the revisions. Our submissions included a summary of the changes. I'll leave that for Chris to go through when she goes through the plan. I'll speak to traffic and parking. So with regard to parking, the original plan that we brought before this board in December 2023 called for 36 parking spaces. The revised plan about a year ago called for 43 parking spaces. We're now at 47 parking spaces, so we've been able to increase the parking, which is more than enough to serve the uses associated with the site. In terms of the traffic impacts, so the memorandum that was issued by Jeffrey Dirk outlines the impact. So the redesign, as presently proposed, will reduce the average weekday traffic by approximately 34%, with the peak hour traffic volumes being reduced up to 74%, so significant reduction in traffic. The report also concludes that the traffic mitigation measures, which were incorporated into the March 2025 memo and agreed upon by the city engineer, are still in place. They're referenced in the memorandum, the DPD comment memorandum that you have. Even though there's a significant decrease in traffic impacts, the developer is committed to implementing all of those conditions that are noted in the memo. So essentially, the change from the restaurant to the retail is less impactful to the site. So with that brief overview, before I turn it over to Chris, just to give the board and the public an idea of timing for this project. It's been a little while now. The developer had to, before they were demolished the building, they had to get the building tested for asbestos. They had that done. Unfortunately, there was a lot of asbestos in the building. They had the asbestos remediated. That's been done. The developer is now ready to apply for the building permit and demolish the building. That could be applied for as early as next week. Once that's demolished, the developer will get all of their other permits in place, apply for those permits, and expect to start construction sometime during the summer with the idea of starting to deliver to tenants by the end of the year. So that's the time frame for your reference. So with that, I'll turn the presentation over to Chris.
Good evening. Once again, I'll note that I'm Chris Shea with Crete Engineering of Cranston, Rhode Island. I thought even though you have a full plan set, which has the layout, grading, drainage, utilities, and landscape plan, I thought tonight might be easier to just focus on what was previously approved, which is what you see at the top, and what we're coming forward with this evening. What's been described as buildings 1, 2, and 3 are left to right on this plan. Building 1 is the Chipotle, building 2 is where the revisions are proposed, and building 3 is the Popeyes restaurant. What I've done here in this presentation graphic is to put a red dashed line around the area that is changing. So let me just go on to this side. So previously it was about a 2,500 square foot restaurant with drive-through, and now we're proposing a 4,800 square foot retail building. The interesting thing is that although the building roof is larger, with the removal of all of the required drive-through for the restaurant, we actually have a decrease in impervious surfaces, a little more roof, but far less parking, and an opportunity to introduce a lot more landscaping than we had previously. So we actually have on this project a reduction in impervious surfaces. That's an improvement on water quality because you have more landscaped areas. We received comments last week. Those related to this site were all utilities, stormwater, water, and wastewater. They requested on the drainage system, we did have some flatter pipes, which they work hydraulically. The city asked if we could possibly increase the slopes from what we had to a 1% slope. We took a look at that. We haven't actually revised that in the plans that you have because we just got the comments last week, but we're able to make that change as requested. They actually were over here at the Chipotle's area, and we will be making that increase in slope as requested. On the wastewater, it was requested that we increase the sewer slopes to 2%. We took a look at that also. We see no reason why we can't accommodate that request as well. Back on the stormwater, there was a question about operation and maintenance of an oil water separator. I tried to reach Gordon Bergeron, I think the gentleman that made that comment. We weren't able to reach him before this meeting. We will coordinate with him. There is a requirement for a stormwater permit anyway on the project. We do not have an oil water separator, and it may be a confusion. We do have a proprietary device called a cascade unit, which provides water quality treatment before we infiltrate the stormwater, which, by the way, there is no change in that. We're infiltrating. We have a system here and here. We had that previously. It's the same system. And with the reduction in impervious, it's more than enough to manage the site as we had done previously. So that's stormwater, that's water and sewer. And on the water department, they did ask that we show fire service lines to the buildings. However, none of these buildings require sprinkler systems, so we'll report back on that there isn't a need to install fire protection lines into the site. So we just have what would be called domestic services to each of the commercial buildings, as we had previously. And I think that covers the changes. Happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Chris. So, Mr. Vice Chair, I think that this project continues to meet the site plan approval criteria, and we are requesting approval of the amended site plan this evening.
Great. Anybody else to speak on behalf of the applicant?
No, nobody else, sir.
Okay, great, thank you. Is there anybody here from the public speaking in favor of this application? In favor? In favor? None? Is there anyone here speaking in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? All right, that portion of the hearing is closed. May I hear from the board?
I'll talk. Why not? So I had misgivings putting 3 different restaurants on this site with all the traffic, with all the people, with the drive-throughs and whatnot. This plan strikes me as workable. I don't quite buy whoever is saying that we're going to have less trips. If we have less trips, that place is going to tank. I mean, realistically, we probably need more trips to this retail building, and if you're going to have 3 units or 2 units, we're going to need people going there to support the businesses, whatever they are. Is there any idea as to what we're looking to put in there?
So the developers had some inquiry for like a Verizon-type storefront, things of that nature, which really, they're not traffic-centric, right? If you compare a use like that to a Starbucks, which was supposed to be there, I could see the significant decrease in traffic, even with 2 or 3. Ultimately, the developer would prefer to just have 2 units there, but it depends on what the interest is.
Sure. Okay. And my memory is from the presentation was that you folks are looking to comply with the stormwater, transportation, wastewater, water, all of those comments, all of those conditions, and a lot of them were the same conditions from
That's right.
the last time, or they look similar.
Yeah.
I do like this. I don't remember seeing the site plan, Jerry, Mr. Vice Chair. I looked on the site, on the Lowell Planning Board site, couldn't find the site plan. What I came up with was the only plan that I could find was the architectural plan, which maybe you could speak to, but I didn't see how the landscaping may change.
That's light.
Yeah.
What's that?
To your point, that's all it was on.
Oh, it was, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was missing something. I thought it was me
I
with
couldn't find it,
technology. But I guess my question would be is what do we have is there any difference in the landscaping? You were talking to it. If you could bring that up.
Yes, I unfortunately do not have the landscape plan with me. However, all of the landscaping, and it was pretty significant request
Yep.
around the perimeter. I know we have a lot of evergreens on the backside of the project site, quite a bit of street trees on this side, and it was significantly planted out. None of that has changed, so it's really just this area. What we had before was just a small amount of landscape here and here
Yep.
around the drive-through, and now we have an opportunity for a lot more landscaping, which was included and submitted to the city. So I don't know why you didn't get
Okay.
a full set of site
Yeah.
plans. I would say it's obviously a more generous landscape plan than was previously permitted.
Okay. Can you speak to what it might include?
No.
You know? Okay. All right.
I'm afraid I'm not a
Look,
landscape
I
architect.
didn't see it, so I can't
Yeah,
speak to it either.
yeah.
So, sounds, thank you.
Typically, it's native plantings in areas where where there's narrow bands, tend to be grasses and small shrubs. I'm sure that's what's here, and usually along the perimeter, I'm sure there are some trees on there as well. We can certainly provide that plan to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Attorney Tanzar. Lucia?
I don't have any questions, Mr. Vice Chair. I was here for the last approval on this project, and I think there's been a lot of thought that's gone into it. And I think this is a small change, and to decrease impervious area or increase pervious area is a good thing.
Okay,
That's all I have.
thank you. Caleb, any?
I agree with Member Tenso that I think traffic-wise it will be improvement. I mean, it's like people going in and out to drive through in 3 parallel restaurant is or serial restaurants seems busy. So however it turned out, I think this will be an improvement. And I want to reiterate that the planning board would prefer to have landscaping plan for site plan review. Thank you.
So, could I weigh in?
Sure,
So
sure.
we submitted a full set of plans that included existing conditions, drainage report, landscape plan, revisions, and I believe that Mary just pulled them up on the website.
Yeah, we couldn't, I couldn't pull it up on the planning board website. I think other members had the same
Wouldn't
difficulties.
have got this far if we didn't submit them.
I don't doubt that you did.
So you just can't
I take your word for it. I just didn't see them.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just odd that, I mean, I couldn't find them either, yeah.
I couldn't find them.
Yeah, I think appreciate if you, when you're preparing for the presentation, that you remember we do care quite a lot about landscaping.
Yeah.
Was it a separate, just to click on and it was the set of plans, or was it within a large packet? Do we know?
It was several attachments.
Okay.
So, Mr. Vice Chair, what I saw was an architectural plan. That's what I was able to open up.
And that was actually submitted after the fact. That was submitted after my application. So like maybe a week and a half ago.
Okay? That's what I saw.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah. Well, look, things happen. You know,
So I can't explain.
Mary, can you see?
They appear to be there.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you go on the planning board, under projects under review, there's the address and it says site plan review, and if you click on that, it should take you to the full application package, which is everything I emailed to the board.
Was it? Oh, wait a minute now. That's why I was asking if it was part of the full package here. Wait a minute now.
I posted that back in April.
It's gonna, hold on. No, this is from Vanessa, yeah, this is from Vanessa Associates. Okay. It would have been helpful to have a set of those plans here this evening,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Okay. I'm sorry. Mr. Sarr, I'm sorry for the interruption.
No, that's like, I'm not gonna, I don't have any questions.
Okay. So from my perspective, I remember there was a robust landscaping plan for the site, which was pleased with. I just would have loved to have seen the changes, right? So I recognize the opportunity for additional landscaping within the site. I have to think if it was a from a drive-through Starbucks versus, 3 retail. Ultimately, what happens with these small, kind of little strip mall type of thing is the businesses will put themselves out. I mean, it won't be lucrative for them to be in there if they're going to be a high-traffic generator and there's no places for people to park. At the end of the day, they won't be able to succeed there because they just won't be able to accommodate the business. So, and again, I appreciate the fact that we're going to have less impervious surface. Oddly enough, it doesn't, right on the surface, you wouldn't think so when you first look at it, and you're looking at that roof and you're saying, oh my God. But at the end of the day, it actually does decrease. So I think that's a plus on that. I really do wish we had the landscaping. What I find sometimes, Council, if it's part of a larger packet, and not just a site plan, if it's part of the larger packet, sometimes we print some of the pages and may not have
Right, the
captured it all.
site plan, so including the existing conditions, landscape plan.
Yeah,
All
okay.
that was, maybe 10 pages. That was one.
Yeah,
attachment.
okay. That would be great if you could, Mary, that would be very fantastic, actually.
There we go.
Oh, great, perfect.
To your point, Attorney Geary, it looks like there is a package here, and we take you at your representation.
Yeah, no,
You submitted it. It's just we didn't see it.
Well, it's just odd that several of us weren't able to pick it
Yeah,
up.
I mean, it could have been just me, but there are others that didn't see it as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Mary.
That looks like the landscape plan.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that is. Now, are those larger trees that will be towards the rear of that, those three, the new building,
Yeah,
building two?
they're typically depicted more or less like a mature tree canopy would
Can-
be. Yep, so the 3 trees in the back are larger trees.
Okay,
And then there is one that's fairly large at the corner.
you see that, yep, nice.
And then three more that run along that, what would be the, Eaton Street drive.
Yeah.
It's not really Eaton Street through there, but functions as such. There's 3 trees there and a lot of small plantings, along the building and near the dumpster pad.
I mean, when you think of what that site looks like right now, what that's going to improve that.
Significant.
Tremendous.
Dramatic.
Yes.
Oh, gosh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's almost 100% impervious today.
yeah.
And by the way, the parking lot grades towards the VFW building, flows behind it, goes over a wall and runs onto private property. And we took care to take all of that out and introduced a very large infiltration system, happened to have good soils and deep enough groundwater to support that. So we really took away what I think is probably a problem, running that much impervious surface to a private property. So this is, and, you know, obviously the increase in landscaping is significant for a lot of reasons, as you know, the trees and heat island effect and air quality, and there's just innumerable reasons why trees are valuable, and we've introduced quite a few on this site.
Yeah, and that's part of, matter of fact, that's part of what we try to accomplish, is to reduce the heat island effect, especially within the city limits in a project like this. So this is perfect, thank you, and again, apologies.
No,
Also, again, several of us could not find it for some
Right.
reason. Thank you, Mary, that was extremely helpful. With that, any more comments at all?
Nothing from us, Vice Chair.
Anyone from the board? All set? If not, I entertain a motion for the site plan approval.
So, Vice Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the site plan. Really, it's a site plan amendment, right?
It's a revision of the site plan, right?
Yes, revision. And I cannot think of any outstanding things that need conditions.
Well, I think we would incorporate from the memo of May 11th, I think they actually even provided some kind of scripted conditions here. I would
All right, I'll read it out.
entertain those, and then I would incorporate everything from the transportation engineer. Yep.
So read it out the conditions. Condition 1, applicant will comply with all engineering requirements from the comment memo dated May 11th, 2026. Condition number 2, applicant to provide update plans to show fire service entering buildings, updated plans to be approved by the Lowell Regional Water Utility. And condition 3, applicant to obtain stormwater permit that includes operation and maintenance for oil and grease interceptor from the Lowell Regional Wastewater Utilities. And I'll include the transportation comments. So that will make the 4th condition.
Yeah, we just incorporate all.
Yeah, incorporate the comments from the transportation engineer, city transportation engineer.
Right, so if I could just interrupt for a moment, you know, with regard to, so condition number 1, I think that is referring to the traffic memo dated May 11th, but however you want to incorporate that, we're 100% committed to implementing those changes.
So that might be the same as the
The
comments.
transportation.
I think it is.
Yeah, so
Yep.
that already covers.
And then condition number 2, we don't believe that fire service is required into these buildings. And condition number 3, we are certainly going to obtain the stormwater permit with the O&M, but we have a different version of the grease separator that Chris spoke to.
So was there, I guess, going back to this memo then, and council, I may have missed it, has there been conversations then with stormwater department and the water department relative to their comments?
No, there have not been, we've not connected, but we checked with, I had the developer check with the architect, and the architect, according to national codes and the Mass Building Code, fire service is not required in these buildings. And Chris spoke more intelligently than I can about the grease separator.
Well, that's certainly interesting when we have staff memo indicating that these are recommended conditions.
Yeah, which weren't on the first 2 go-arounds. We're happy to condition, approval for this. Obviously, we need a stormwater permit.
Right.
We're going to, condition the transportation engineer comments.
Right.
We can condition approval from the, regional water utility for service to the building. And, we can work that out with the engineers.
And so that recommended condition number 2 regarding the applicant to provide updated plans to show fire service entering building, update plans to approve by the city regional wastewater utility is, what you're saying, Counselor, just so I understand, is that you disagree with what or your engineers are disagreeing
Yeah,
with what they're
if
saying.
they're suggesting we need fire service to the buildings, we disagree with that. We would be agreeable to a condition that says updated plans to be approved by the Lowell Regional Water Utility.
Sure. And that way, it covers
If it's
as to
required,
what is agreed upon.
If they prove that it's required, we'll supply it.
Mary, do you have the wording on that for the condition?
I can restate it. Applicant to provide updated plans to, for approval by the Lowell Regional Water Utility. So we'll skip over the fire service entering building details.
And if therefore they determine it needs to be that way, then,
Right, and Chris informs me that that's part of the building permit application process, so
Yeah.
we'll go through that.
okay.
And then maybe for condition number 3, applicant to obtain, stormwater permit that includes O&M, the typical stormwater permit.
Right, yeah. I call those non-condition conditions because you have to do it anyway,
Right.
so, yeah.
Yeah, so I think for the third one, Mary I will amend it to obtain stormwater permit from NRWW.
In this case, we don't have to approve the landscaping plan because what we approved the project, that's what the plan was submitted, so we did view it here this evening, so that was helpful. Mary, that was huge that we were able to bring that up, so thank you. All right, with that,
Member Chang, should we add to that the stormwater comments, the transportation comments, the wastewater comments, and the water comments they had mentioned that they were in agreement with for your motion?
I'm just afraid.
They were talking about slopes.
Yeah.
The water, forget the last one, the water department, but the wastewater, the transportation, and the stormwater.
It's just that we have to scour through it to make sure there's no conflicting information, right?
I think from the transportation
The transportation
perspective,
is fine.
they said, matter of fact,
Yep.
they're still complying with what was initially
That's right.
in the
Right.
approval, and then I think she has expanded on some additional items here, so,
Right, and that's all acceptable.
yep.
So for the water and wastewater comments, I think they won't get approval if they don't address it.
Got it.
So I think
that covers what we have.
cover what we have. I mean, fire department doesn't make any comments, so
No.
I think they're good.
And again, DPD, when it's no comments, that means
Yeah.
not that they didn't receive anything, they had no concerns, my understanding. Yep. Okay.
Right, and one of the
appreciate it.
first times around, the fire department wanted to see that swept path analysis, which we provided, and I believe we provided again.
We did, yep. Actually, this is a better configuration than the Starbucks that was in there for circulation as well. So, great, with that, I have a second? Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye, no one in opposition. All right, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the special permit application for 14 Gendock Street. The Lowell Planning Board will hold a public hearing to hear all interested persons relative to an application by Three Bridge Development, Inc. to split the existing lot and construct a new single-family home at 14 Gendock Street. The subject property is located in the traditional single-family TSF zoning district. The proposal requires special permit approval per section 5.1.17 of the Lowell zoning ordinance to reduce the required frontage. May we hear from the applicant, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, before I start, could I approach and,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and again, for the record, John Geary, Geary and Geary LLP, 32 Church Street, Lowell, Mass. I'm here tonight representing the applicant, Three Bridge Development, Inc. Three Bridge is also the owner of 14 John Dock Street. With us tonight, we have Matt LaLasher and Brian Durkin, two of the principals of Three Bridge, and of course, we have Matt Hammer from Landplex. Subject property currently consists of a single-family cottage-style residence located at 14 John Dock Street and situated on about 17,835 square feet of land in the traditional single-family zoning district. John Dock Street is a dead-end street containing approximately 5 properties.
Excuse me.
The subject property is on the easterly side of John Dock Street, and as I said, contains a relatively small house with a barn-like structure, both of which have gone through substantial renovations by the developer. We're here tonight requesting a special permit pursuant to 5.1.17 of the zoning ordinance in order to split the existing lot into 2 lots and reduce the frontage for both lots. This section of the ordinance allows for frontage to be reduced by up to 15 feet. In this instance, we are proposing that the frontage be reduced for each lot by about 8 feet. We're proposing frontage at 61.2 feet where 70 is required. If approved, the applicant's proposing to build a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home consisting of about 1,600 square feet of living space. As we know, the TSF district requires that you have 70 feet of frontage, as I said, and 7,000 square feet of land area for each lot. In this case, Lot 1, we are proposing to have 7,414 square feet of land area, and Lot 2, which Lot 1 is the proposed new home. Lot 2, the existing home, is proposed to have 10,421 square feet of land area. The only other relief associated with this redevelopment is a request for a variance from the zoning board for maximum front yard setback. The property is set back further than the dimensional requirement of the front yard setback. So we'll be before the zoning board in a week or two requesting that relief. Late last week, we supplemented the application materials with a neighborhood GIS exhibit plan. That exhibit plan gives the board a very good sampling of the frontage for the different properties throughout the neighborhood, and it demonstrates there's a significant amount of lots that have less than 70 feet of frontage in the neighborhood. So obviously the intent of that exhibit plan is to demonstrate to the board that what we are proposing is consistent with and in character with the existing neighborhood. We've received the staff comments, which are pretty straightforward and essentially just define the project. But focusing on the engineering comments for a moment, there are a few proposed conditions there. But some of the work mentioned within these conditions has already been done. So the applicant has already trenched in and brought the water and sewer service for the proposed lot to the lot. That was done because the applicant was informed that John Dock Street was going to be repaved, and as we know, once a street is repaved in the city, there's a moratorium and you can't open it for 7 years or so. So that was, they did that in an abundance of caution. As I said, the city issued those permits, and that essentially took care of conditions 1 and 2, with the exception of the driveway permit, which would still need to be obtained. Applicant would have no issues with conditions 3 and 4 that are noted in the memo. In terms of the relevant criteria for issuance of the special permit, with regard to application to the Lowell Forward Plan, the proposal is creating an additional housing unit within the city, which is one of the primary objectives of the Lowell Forward Housing Plan. The new home will be market rate, energy efficient home that will most definitely benefit the neighborhood. In addition, the applicant has rehabbed the existing, done some substantial renovations to the existing home and the barn that's also located with the existing home. I provided those before and after renderings that show a pretty stark contrast to what was there and what's here now. Again, it was a cottage-style house in very, very rough condition, as was the barn for that matter. In terms of neighborhood character, considering that the lot area for both lots is in excess of the required 7,000 square feet, and the frontage that we're proposing is generally consistent with the neighborhood, you know, we believe that what we're proposing here will have a positive impact to the neighborhood. And it's, the creation of this new lot, the construction of the new home on the lot will have no detrimental impact to the neighborhood. In terms of environmental impacts, post-development, this property will be much better off than pre-development. And that's for a couple of reasons. When the applicant purchased this home, the existing home was tied to septic. Probably one of the few homes in the city that is tied to a septic system. So the applicant has, you know, tied the property into the municipal sewer system, which is a major benefit to the property and to the neighborhood, considering that, you know, the condition of the home, I'm sure the septic system hadn't been pumped, hadn't been maintained, probably non-functional. So that's a dramatic improvement. In addition to that, we're proposing a recharge system for both properties. So there's currently nothing there in terms of recharge. So environmentally, the property is far better off post-development than pre-development. In terms of traffic access and safety, you know, both lots will be accessed by a private driveway off of John Dark Street. Each lot will have sufficient off-street parking. The access for fire and other first responders is more than sufficient, and as we all know, there's really no traffic impacts to a residential property on a dead-end street. We believe that any other impacts to the city will be positive in nature. The additional lot, the construction of a new home on that lot will increase the real estate tax revenue substantially from this single parcel right now. When the property's built out, local contractors will be used to build out the property. There'll be costs of permitting that will go revenue to the city. So we feel that all considered, this is a positive impact to the neighborhood. So with that, I'll turn the presentation over to Matt, and he can review the plans with the board.
So existing today is a single-family dwelling here and this barn structure in the rear. There's a driveway configuration here which partially encroached on the abutting lot, and we're going to be proposing to remove that and revegetate that driveway to form a new driveway here, reduced in width, to bring access to the front of the property to have 2 parking spaces. That new proposed asphalt will also be mitigated with drainage trench, which is located here. This is the proposed dwelling here with a front porch entranceway extending to the rear with grading extending on either side of the dwelling. Additionally, there'll be a newly formed driveway to formalize the entranceway to this existing dwelling, where this existing driveway is going to be removed to service this new home here. That driveway will also be mitigated with infiltration drainage as well. And as Mr. Gary pointed out, the barn's been renovated, and then there'll be a walkway here from the end of the driveway. This is a front view of the home from John Dark. This is a rear elevation. It's a left elevation of the home. And then that's the right elevation of the home. Then we also have floor plans of the home, farmer's porch, family room, kitchen, dining area with a bath, with a deck off the rear. And then this is the second story with a master bedroom and 2 bedrooms in the back. And that's the basic presentation.
Okay.
I should also note that there'll be additional drainage in the rear for the roof runoff.
And, Mr. Vice Chair, the only other thing I would add is that these are 2 tax parcels right now. They're obviously being reshaped. The existing parcel closer to Columbia is a much smaller lot. The other parcel with the existing home is bigger. So having said that, I believe that we have established that we meet the criteria for issuance of the special permit. We are requesting approval of the special permit this evening, but we're happy to answer any questions or address any concerns.
Okay.
That's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you. And before I open it up for testimony from the public, I think we were going to have somebody on Zoom, is that correct, Mary? Okay. We did receive a letter that they did ask to be read into the record, so we did receive correspondence that I will read into the record, and then we will go to the members of the public that are on Zoom. The letter is addressed to Dear Mary Brundage in the Planning Board. I am a neighbor of the property located at 14 Jenduck Street. As I will be traveling out of the country, I am unable to attend the public hearing scheduled for May 18th. Could you please email me the digital plans and blueprints for the project proposed by Three Bridge Development, Inc.? I would like to review the potential impact on my property's privacy and drainage before the board makes a decision. Additionally, I would like to raise the following questions regarding the application to split the lot and build a new home. Number 1, street character. How will the reduced frontage, section 5.1.17, affect the density of the character of the street? Number 2, natural light. Will the new construction block natural light or compromise the privacy of my property? Number 3, property value. What is the estimated impact on the property value's immediate neighbors? Number 4, trees and drainage. Will any mature trees be removed? And how will the new construction handle water runoff to prevent flooding in neighboring yards? Number 5, privacy. How will the placement of the new house affect the privacy of my backyard and windows? Number 6, parking and traffic. Reducing frontage often leads to more congestion. Will there be enough off-street parking for this new home to avoid crowding our street? I request that these questions be read into the record during the public hearing. Thank you for your assistance. Best regards, Corinne Bala, 134 Columbia Road, Lowell, Mass. And now with that, is there anyone here or on Zoom here to speak in favor of the project? In favor of the project? In favor?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Kiran. So should I have
Yes.
some question. I have some question regarding to this project. So my first question is that how many feet will there will be between a new house, my property line? Are you hearing me?
Was that how much feet from the
Yeah.
property line? Is that, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I will let you present the questions that you have, and then through the acting chair here, we will discuss the comments with the applicant. So go ahead, right ahead, please.
Okay, my first question is that how many feet will be there between this new house and my property lines?
Okay. You have any other concerns?
Yeah. Is the neighborhood following the standard rules, zoning rules? And when is the construction plan to start, and how long will be the having drilling take?
And I'm sorry, before that comment, I didn't get your question. What was your,
Okay.
Sec-
When is the construction plan to start,
okay, yep.
and
how long?
how long will the heavy digging take?
Sure.
And
Any other questions or comments?
will they take the fence? And actually, I need a fence when they starting the project. And can they put the fence over there? Is my, I'm going to lose my 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 I'm going to lose my personal space, so I need a fence. And where will be the setback for the my home? I have a like that questions. I'm so worried about that. So tell me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions or concerns?
No.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, and we will ask the petitioner the questions that you have asked. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Now,
Thank you.
Is there anyone else on Zoom speak in favor or against? No? Okay, all right. Portion of the meeting is closed. Counselor, just before we turn it over to the board, regarding, now, I believe she is at 134 Columbia Road. Do you know exactly where that is in
Correct.
relation to?
Yes. And we did see that letter in advance as well, and I think we addressed most of those concerns in our presentation to one degree or another. In terms of the specific questions, we are 15.4 feet away from the home. We meet all the all the other dimensional requirements of the code.
Right.
So we're not looking for relief for setbacks to side yard, front yard, or any other, except the house to the front yard setback, as I said.
Right.
In terms of the construction timeline, I would suggest that a single-family home, from the time you get permitted till you complete the construction, could take up to 6 months. Probably would be done this construction season, I would suggest.
Fair enough.
And in terms of the fence, I mean, she's elevated above this property. There's a pretty significant tree line there that we are not proposing to change. We're proposing to likely trim and prune, but there's a lot of privacy, as natural, existing privacy. So we're not intending to propose a fence. Yeah, the tree line is demonstrated. You can see it on the plan. So that's all I have, Mr. Vice Chair.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With that, I'll turn it over to the board.
Well, Chairman,
Kevin?
yeah, I want to also, just because Ms. Karen also, Bala also asked about natural light and property value. Well, we can discuss that one. Also, trees and drainage. Do you have an answer for our question regarding, the letter?
Yeah, so, in terms of the trees, again, we're not anticipating removing many trees. We're anticipating pruning and trimming trees for that tree line along the two property lines there and beyond. So we don't think there'll be any impact there. The natural light is what it is, and it won't be affected. In terms of the property values, I would suggest that this property, the construction of a new home, the rehab of the existing home, is going to positively impact values in the neighborhood, most definitely. And the privacy, there's still significant natural barrier there.
Maybe a question of Matt. Are you planting any trees? Or shrubs or landscaping?
We're not proposing plantings, but this is a residential lot, So you're going to find that there'll be natural landscaping throughout time on the property.
Okay. And how much space, you say 15 and 4 feet to the neighboring house, right?
It's to the lot line, not the house.
Oh, the lot line, okay.
Yes, so 15.4 feet to the lot line.
Got it. And then there are trees along the
There's vegetation all along here.
okay. Is the vegetation extend up to almost to the new house? I mean, I don't see on the plan, so I mean, the vegetation,
It's going to be set back about 8 feet, pruned back about 8 feet from the home.
I see. And, well, got it. Well, thank you. Thank you for
And
addressing.
there's also a natural topography difference there
Yeah.
as well, where
Matt, I'm going to ask about that, actually. So how do you navigate that, I don't know if you will have some feel, or is the building, I mean, the plan looks sitting on a flat ground, so, what's the plan there?
Okay. So out here, the grading into the driveway will remain approximately the same grade, going down in grade about a foot for the drive area. So the drive area will be relatively flat, okay? What'll happen is this is the first floor here. So when you come in off this grade, you'll be coming into the first floor with like a 2-foot elevation difference from the driveway to the first floor. And then what you have is an 8-foot basement. So essentially, the basement drops 8 feet, and it's a walk with what we call a walkout in the back, in the rear.
I see. Let me see.
So what'll happen is the foundation will step down to grade in the rear. So when you come out of the basement, you'll be at grade in the rear.
Yep.
That's how you take care of the 8 to 9 foot grade differential from here to the rear.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm seeing the house plan on the side elevation, it's look pretty flat. It's
So what happens back here, actually,
right.
Yeah, that was very flat. Yeah.
back here, we're actually filling in 2 feet to
Okay.
raise the grade in the rear here.
Okay, so I hear you. Is the plans representative, or that's
That's-
more for
That's for the elevations of the building, not a perspective elevations.
I see. But the character will be similar.
Yes, so when you're on the driveway, you will see that,
Uh-huh,
yes.
okay.
But may I ask, though, so there will not be a benefit, I think the thinking was, when we were talking about the big elevation, is that the neighbor will be all set because they're higher and the house will be lower, but it's not. This house is going to be elevated, so it really is going to be at the same level of, just so I'm understanding what's happening here, how it's laying out.
So the lot drops in grade
I understand,
from here to here approximately 10 feet.
right? But you're going to have an 8-foot basement. You basically said from the driveway, which the driveway is up front
Yep.
near the road.
And then there's grading
right, and
along
it
both
drops
sides.
down. So then you're going to walk in, basically you said from the driveway, it'll be the same level to the first floor.
Correct.
So that means it'll be elevated.
Yeah, I said that the first floor will be 2 feet above the driveway.
So the grade difference won't give you any privacy then, as far as.
Matt, what is the grade of the first floor to the topography level of the first floor to the topography level of the neighbor?
So the neighbor is at 82, elevation 82, and our finished floor will be at 93. So we're higher,
You're higher.
yes.
That's what, yeah, that's, because the implication was.
Depends,
Right? It-
depends on where you are.
The other way, yeah.
Depends on where you are at the neighbor's property.
Right, no, understood, because then in the back.
So here we're at the same, essentially the same grade.
Right.
They drop down the rear too.
Okay.
And Matt, how far back are we off of John Dock?
We are
It's in my variance application, I just don't remember.
54 feet from Jeanne d'Arc.
Okay. So Mary, do you have a? Pardon me?
Comment from Karen.
Okay, sure, if you could,
Just read it
please.
over-
Yeah, if you could, please.
Okay. Because this new house is being built right along my property, backyard property line, our privacy is going to be completely lost. Request the board require the builder to install a 6-foot privacy fence along the property line as a condition for approving this project.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Thank you. Thank you, Mary. Okay, so it's better, we have a better understanding now.
Yeah.
Why, yeah, because I really thought
Yeah.
there was a natural protection there from the slope. Okay, all right, fair enough.
And we all know that there's a second floor, right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely,
yeah.
yeah, no, understood.
Yeah.
All right, okay, I'm sorry, Cam, go ahead.
Oh, no worry. Another thing is I noticed like there is a garage or like right next to the driveway you're gonna remove.
That's been removed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
they
see.
just got removed.
So the red, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I see some picture when I was there is not there, so
It was there a few weeks ago, and we removed it when we did the plan.
got it. And another thing I'm slightly concerned is like on the driveway. We talk about on University Ave that people might drive into somebody's house, but one of your parking spaces are right off the cliff. Is there any concern about people backing down?
Well, there won't be a cliff here,
Well, on the other side, like right, you have a T.
over in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there could be. It slopes down from here about six feet to the bottom of the toe of slope.
Would it be a benefit of some type of curve or something to stop?
Yeah, we could definitely put something here.
Yeah. Well, I can.
Yep.
I can see you rolling down that.
Yeah, we can definitely add
Yeah.
something there.
So, yeah. Other than that, I think I see your neighborhood plan, and you're asking for 8 feet relief. I think that's certainly within the limit. Grant, and you mentioned about also this one of the lot will be compliant with lot area. So I see that as within how to say it. I see it as within the perimeter where I will be supportive of the relief on frontage.
Yep.
And I also want to thank the owner for renovating the property. I mean, it looks really nice, and I think it will be helpful. Again, to Attorney Gary mentioned about the low housing plan that we can use more housing and where it can fit. As long as we address some issues with the impact, such as I think I will leave it to further discussion about whether a fence is the best idea on that note.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Caleb. Yes?
Mr. Vice Chair, thank you. Couple of comments. I went out there yesterday, drove down that gravel driveway, turned around, looked around, really loved what had been done to the property thus far. Very much appreciate the color GIS exhibit showing the various lots with less than 70 feet of frontage. To me, that shows that this area has quite a few with similar or less than that the frontage you're requesting. So I didn't have a problem with that. What I was wondering was when I drove down the driveway and I looked up, I was wondering whether there were going to be any sort of, or need to be, any sort of retaining walls, because on the backside, when you drive down, I mean, it's a slope, it's got to be 10 feet, maybe something like that.
There will be a wall.
There's a retaining wall in there?
Yes, it's located right here.
I'm sorry, I'm going to come up and see it.
I
'cause
can
can't-
point that on the plan.
Okay. Retaining wall here. Okay. Oh, okay. I was thinking it was more like maybe tree line. You know, where that other property is,
Yeah, we don't need a retaining wall on the left-hand side, just in this location here.
because of the vegetation?
Just the way the grading worked.
Yeah,
Whether they're
okay.
cutting it.
Can you show me on this where the driveway is for lot number 1? I drove down lot number 2, so I know where that is, but where is it located in this?
Oh, both.
Like, there's a lot of lines here, if you would.
Well, and then I was looking at.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that. Huh. Oh, oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, my only other comment, I actually like this proposal. I do think there should be some trees on Lot 2. That would be my condition. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, thank you. Attorney Tenza. Sia, any comments, questions?
I don't have any questions. I'll just say that
Dan wanted
this little
trees
dim
added,
dark
lot.
part of Pawtucketville, I've never
Wanted
seen
trees
before.
added.
It's so, it makes you feel like you're rural somewhere. And what they've done with the little bungalow that's there now, I love it. You know, you wouldn't, looking at it, you wouldn't think that lot 1 is the new lot, right?
Lot 1 is a new one, yeah.
But if you really take a good look at it, there's plenty of room there. They obviously meet the required lot area, and I think that they're within the 15 feet of permissible relief for minimum frontage. So I like it.
Okay, great, thank you, thank you. Mr. Saar?
I was able to speak to one of the neighbor there. I was just wondering on the first the old part of the was the barn in the back there. Yeah, it's isn't it? It's across the border of the. It built on the other people's land, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes, it encroaches into the other property. There's been discussions with that neighbor, and there's a strong likelihood that that will be corrected by way of either an easement or some type of a lot line adjustment there. But the neighbor's well aware of it, has no concern about it. You know, there have been many discussions between the developer and that neighbor. So it, you know, it will be addressed one way or another, or it will be allowed to stay without any issue.
Because it's you know, I mean, what we pass sometimes is hard to, you know, go back.
Yeah, if the neighbor wants that removed, he has a right to have it removed, or more likely there would be a resolution.
Okay. Other than that, you know, I'm okay with
Okay,
everything else.
thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Saar. Mary?
Yeah, I just had a couple more comments from our participant on Zoom. She just wanted to state she removed her red shed, and she also asked to point out her property line, the one on 134 Columbia Ave, and where the if Matt, if you don't mind showing where that property line is on Zoom, you know, that they can point that out.
Point it out.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully LTC was able to zoom in on that so you can see it. It does show us where it is. Okay, great. Yeah, and looking at this, that's what I thought the biggest challenge was the topography of the site. I have to laugh. Counsel, you know me for a long time, and I'm sensitive to this. The variance request you're asking for is probably one of the few legitimate variance requests I've ever seen.
Can't wait to ask.
It has to do specifically to the topography of the land. And you typically don't see that, so that caught my attention. Yeah, you know, I think there's going to be there's a certain level of privacy leaving the trees there that will be beneficial. It's funny, on the garage on the other lot line, if the plan is to sell these, that has to be taken care of anyways, because that's gonna hold up every closing you're possibly ever gonna try to do.
Yeah, and we had that discussion.
Yeah, so that has to be taken care of one way or the other. Has there been, did you speak with this neighbor before? Has there been any discussion of a fence?
My clients have spoken with her many times.
Yeah,
I think that they probably suspected she was going to ask for a fence, is
Yeah.
that natural privacy of the
Right.
tree line is substantial.
right.
And I don't know that a 6-foot fence is gonna, the trees are much higher than that. I
Yeah, I know, and.
don't know what benefit that's gonna provide them.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm trying to weigh that.
yeah,
as far as-
right.
Yeah.
Matt, what's the distance along that lot line?
It's 127 feet.
The distance of that lot line.
Long run.
And now clearly, when you get to the rear of the property, then it drops. Matter of fact, there'll be less privacy on this new lot, because the other lot will be looking down on it, but.
I'm wondering whether there could be some vegetation, landscaping instead of fencing.
Yeah,
That
something,
can
yeah.
provide screening, because, I mean, that goes along with the natural, existing vegetation.
And oddly enough, on the plans of the home, you don't have a lot of windows on the sides of the house,
Yeah, like two
which
on that
is,
side?
yeah, which I thought was, is it just because of the way the rooms lay out? It just didn't, I mean, that's the way it's going to be built, I'm assuming, right? That's what's being presented. Wouldn't be the first time that doesn't happen, but I just want to make sure that that's, all right, so there's the,
Just one window?
yeah, so that would be what's, yeah.
Okay.
There. That deck, so that deck, to Caleb's point though, and that's why it always makes it tough from the topography. So that deck, is that going to be, at that point, the way you're coming down, it's gonna be like a knee wall coming down to lower the, to
Yeah,
bring
that deck will be 8 feet. in height.
8 feet off the ground?
Yes.
Okay, see, that doesn't give you that sense there. Okay, that's what's trying to.
So
figure out.
there are more.
It
Yeah.
slopes in the back.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Just trying to think if there's some way we could provide some sort of additional, I don't know if it's from the parking. If we could, Mary, is she still on the, on Zoom? I just have a question. Is it more concern regarding where the driveway is located, or is it the whole length of the property? I guess I mean, I can understand, I guess, from the driveway perspective, if people out there working on the cars, or whatever the case, washing the cars, or whatever, it just gives them privacy.
I also want to note, like, the building that they say they removed before submitting the plan,
Provided some privacy.
was the one providing privacy,
right.
but then, Matt, was the shed there before or encroaching on the neighbor's property? I mean, it's on the left side of the driveway, right?
Because that provided privacy from the driveway.
Oddly, right?
Yeah.
While Matt's looking at that, so, just speaking with my client, what we could probably do here is provide a 6-foot white vinyl fence for a 20, 30-foot run there
Sure.
that would take care of, any privacy concerns related to the actual structure, right?
Sure, right,
And then
exactly.
let the natural vegetation take over for the rest.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be
we
great.
can.
Although I do want to ask the neighbor, is the fence really what they wanted? I mean, could trees, plantings can also do I mean, that's up to I want to ask the neighbor about that. Does she really want the fence? I mean, it's pretty open look, so.
But again, the previous structure did provide some
Yeah.
privacy, and now it's gone, so I get.
Yeah,
the-
I get
the
it.
difference there, yeah.
So if that's, it makes sense, right? If,
Yeah.
you cover that 20 to 30-foot run,
Yeah.
and that should resolve those concerns, I would think.
I mean, I like that idea. I think that
okay.
makes sense. Yeah, I think it makes sense. That certainly was the concern that she had mentioned. And I can understand it when that section is a lot.
Just, that's what you have, right? You can see from the street.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
I know. I think that would, yeah. Okay, is there any other comments from the other board members?
Just briefly,
Yep.
I think Lot 2 felt naked when I drove on it, if you know what I mean. Like, it was sparse with landscaping, whatever. I think if 2 shade trees would be helpful.
Did you hear that?
That's fine, yeah.
Counselor? Yeah, 2 shade trees on.
Yes.
On lot, the lot on the existing structure.
Yes, Lot 2.
Lot 2, yep, okay. And that would be at street level, right, for the street level? Yep, okay. All right, good. Any other comments?
No.
Here? Okay, with that, I'll entertain,
There's 2 motion, right?
we actually have before us this is for hold on just a moment here, just make sure we have this correctly. This is for just a special permit.
Oh,
For the reduction of the frontage.
oh.
So with that,
So the current one is, so are you dividing the plotting to 2 subdivision and,
I'm sorry,
so just a special setback?
special permit, right, for the reduction of the frontage.
That's it.
So that they can subdivide the lot without problem. Otherwise, they cannot.
Yeah, which is section 5.1.1 of the zoning code. Yep. So with that, I know Council, you said the proposed conditions, you said the first 2 were already met, so we're really, with that, I'd entertain a motion. Again, for the site plan, the special permit.
I make a motion to approve the special permit to reduce the frontage for the lots with condition the applicant must provide as-built of the drainage system with a professional engineer's stamp after the project is complete. And the second condition, the applicant shall obtain a stormwater permit from the LRWWU. And then we have a third condition to add a 6-foot white vinyl fence on the around 20 feet from the driveway. How do we call it? From the street. From the street in. Thank you.
correct.
And lastly, we also have a 4th condition to for the applicant to plant 2 shade trees on lot 2.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Chair votes favor. Congratulations.
Thank you,
Application's
appreciate your
approved.
time tonight.
Good luck, gentlemen. Sorry to be rough on you on the landscaping, but that's a pet peeve of mine, Counselor.
White vinyl fences are popular tonight.
Thank you. Any comments from any other board members on any other boards they serve on?
How's the bridge coming?
It's moving along. If you go up there, you can actually see them making progress with the
Yeah?
cranes. There's 3 cranes
Are they
out
starting to
there.
put the pilings in, or?
They continue to move forward. Yeah, I think Caleb even has a picture of it.
Picture of
Oh, cranes out there, nice.
No, and actually, when they're not working on the weekend, they actually have American flags hanging from the cranes. It's actually pretty impressive when you look at it. So it's edging forward. I encourage you to go by and take a look at it.
So did we put up a video camera?
They were supposed to. I didn't check the website. It should be on the website. I'll have to check that.
Was that the state or the city?
The city was going to.
Yeah, there was going to be a
Show
webcam
it
put on there, yeah, yeah.
real time.
I'll have to check to see. I haven't heard any more progress on that. I'll report back on that.
All right.
Sounds
Any other
good.
comments? If not, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, you know, and then I want to keep my mouth